Hello and welcome to episode 56 of Pacific Horseplayers right here on the HHH Racing Podcast. I am your host, Noah Meagher, joined by my good friends Jackson Muniz and Ryan Anderson, as it is opening night at Turfway Park this week. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, as we're filming this on Tuesday night, we've got Turfway up in Florence, Kentucky. They're starting their winter meet. I know Jackson is very excited for that. Both Ryan and I are also excited for that. And excited that a sponsor of the show, Twin Spires, will be having some tournaments on their little website there that you can be a part of. So looking forward to dabbling into those. But before we get into talking about the races, of course, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. We can subscribe to our normal Power Picks tip sheet. Of course, you get two tracks, ABC grids, spot plays, all that good stuff. So go ahead and check that out, and you can subscribe to those over at our website, hhhracingpodcast.com. And then the last thing, we do have an episode of Weekend Warriors this weekend. Now, maybe the boss man is in the chat and can let us know what time that is, and I'll go ahead and bring up that comment. But it's been a bit of a scramble for me today. Back into the swing of things with school finals going on, all that good stuff. I had an internship showcase today and was talking for about an hour and 30 minutes. So if my voice goes to shit, then you'll know why. So hopefully we can go ahead and get into these races before that is the case. And we can see all the lovely people that are already in the chat. Of course, Katie is here. Matt is here. He said PHP in. Some schmuck named Jackson was commenting about how we're late. Felipe is here. Of course, the boss is here. And he's going to throw up the time for us, 2:45 to 4:15 Eastern. That will be Weekend Warriors covering the Remsen card this weekend, this Saturday, over at Aqueducts. So looking forward to that. I think that's everything we've got to get through. I guess we'll go to Ryan first, because Ryan, you're in a bit of a different location than normal.
Yeah. So my girlfriend's parents are out of town, so we're house sitting over here. So I'm in her dad's office right now, and he was like an aerospace engineer, so there's just a bunch of plane shit everywhere. It's pretty sweet in here though, but it does look. I think Matt call it like an evil lair or something like that. So it looks like, yeah, I'm plotting a takeover, but no, I'm just out here.
I like it. Jackson, we'll go to you. You did the seminar with Frank on Saturday, and if our lives were at stake and we needed your picks, we wouldn't be taking over shit.
Just one bad day. The picks didn't go well, but I had a great time with Frank, as always. Frank's awesome, and had a lot of fun. And, I'm kind of sad Del Mar's over, but the bright side is Turfway is finally here. Been waiting several months for Turfway, and a lot of good betting opportunities throughout the entire meet. So really, really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. One door closes, another one opens. So we're looking forward to get this Turfway meet underway. I guess we can go ahead and get into the races. Let me get our Echo base up on the screen as we normally do. And it is going to be up in 3, 2, 1. There it is. Late pick 5 on opening night at Turfway. Again, that's tomorrow night, Wednesday night, as we are filming this on Tuesday night. Race 5 starts the late pick 5. That is 7:55 local time. Maiden special weight, $100,000 purse. Got to love these purses out here in Kentucky. And they are going 1.25 miles on the synthetic, which you don't see carded very often. I know there's a horse that we're very interested in collectively that's maybe targeting to a race of such condition. So hopefully we see that horse here pretty soon. The morning line favorite in this field is the number 3 Penalty Box, a dear love of mine for Irad Ortiz and Michael McCarthy. He's 7-5 on the morning line. Second choice goes to the 6 Don Dragon for Vincent Chemino and Riley Mott at 9-2. Our picks are going to be up on the screen now. And we talk about how difficult this place is, and we've all got the same horse on top to get the day started. I'm going 6-3-4. Jackson's going 6-3-10, and Ryan's going 6-4-1. We'll go to the pilot first. We'll go to you, Ryan. Talk about the number 6 Don Dragon. What'd you like about this 3-year-old colt?
Yeah, how we all ended up on this horse makes me think that this horse might go off as the favorite. There was nothing wrong with the comeback race when being switched from Bill Mott into Riley's barn, came back on grass on November the 1st. that ran fine. Riley Mott, much like family member Bill Mott, doesn't really have him cranked up first off the bench or first time start. So second up should clearly take a step forward. I think we're all on board with saying that distance shouldn't be an issue. I know I gotta go run and take care of my dogs. I think they're barking at a skunk or something crazy outside, so I don't want to deal with any of that. But Don Dragon, look, again, the comeback race was fine. I think he can certainly take a step forward second up off the layoff.
Jackson, obviously, you saw some similar stuff. I saw some similar stuff. That was the first race that we had seen from him since the end of March, and just watching the race, it definitely seemed like he maybe could have needed one.
Yeah, I thought it was a good comeback effort. It was, he broke above 12. It's not easy to do, and the pace was fast. He wasn't that far from it. He was kind of wide the first turn and kind of just ran evenly in that race. He actually galloped out really well, which you want to see with him going into 10 furlongs today. So, he's going to be somewhat close to the pace. He should move forward second time off the bench, and the Curlins ran really well at TURFWAY last year. Curlin, as a sire, a lot of his progeny did. They won a lot of races, so I think that Tapita probably should be fine for him. He's run well on dirt. He's run well on turf. Tapita probably shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, we'll move over to the favorite, and we'll keep it with you because Ryan's a little busy with the dogs. So we'll throw it to my dog, Jackson, to talk about the favorite here. There's really nothing wrong with him. I guess you can make a case that he's got a little second-itis and maybe was supposed to get the job done his last two times, but numbers fit. I just thought there were a couple other options I liked and preferred at the price. I think there's a chance that he's even money in here, and I'm not sure I really want to take even money and really trust him at that price.
Yeah, 7-5 seems a little short for him, but he does appear to be the speed of the speed, which he hasn't been yet going two turns. He hasn't made the front, and especially that race two back where he found so much trouble. Actually, I think Matt made a lot of money on the race. If I remember correctly, he texted us after that one. So I agree with you, though. He probably should have won last time. He probably should have won the race before that, too. But again, he's finally going to 10 furlongs. I have always thought this horse would want to go further. But he also has to answer the question, is the Tapita going to be good for him? We don't know. And I don't know if I want to take that sort of a price on a horse that's an unknown on the surface.
Yeah, that's a big question mark. I think will be a big question mark for a lot of people that will be, playing a tourney or a sequence on opening night tomorrow night. And obviously he's kept some very good company. He lost to Privman, who came back and won. Some of the Baffert horses that he ran up against his first and second start seemed to be, pretty decent pretty decent 3-year-olds at that time. So going back to this last race, I kind of thought he was probably supposed to get the job done. I know Original Sin came back on Sunday, and I think it might have been the last race of the meet at Churchill. And he was okay. He ran a non-threatening third. I don't think the buyer was anything special. But going back to what you said, I think the surface could be a big question mark for him. You've got a horse in third that I looked at for quite a while, and another one I thought kind of had a rusty comebacker. And that's the 10 Inspired Kiss. Joe Ramos, very capable out here. And we always talk about how capable Will Walton is. 22% for the year, second off the layoff. Seems like he's most likely going to take a step forward. You're going to get a good price.
Yeah, I'll admit I wasn't a huge fan of his most recent race. What I liked about this horse, though, is his most recent workout. Actually, he went in company with Rappaport over this racetrack, and he smoked him. It wasn't close. Off of that work, I'd be really against the one in here. It seems like he's not really handling the track too well. Yeah. But if you're going to give me 20-1 on this horse, who is kind of trending the right way, I just think 20-1 on him is too high. I don't know if he get 20-1, but having someone as a third pick, he seems fine to me. I think he can run on the surface.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. It kind of seemed like you can make cases for the 3 and the 6, and then it was a bit of a toss-up after that. I had the general opinion that was similar to you. I wasn't a huge fan of Rappaport. I know Ryan's got him in third. Certainly run some okay numbers. I'm not sure if I actually watched the work or not, but I believe I watched the work when he was coming back at Keeneland. And I didn't love what I saw. He was bet to favorite that day. It was just under 5-2. He ran okay. Came back at Churchill. I didn't really see much excuse for him in that race. That was the same race that the 6 is coming out of. I thought the 6 was wide a little bit, and he was breaking from post 2 that day. So kind of got the run of the race down the inside, opened up, and just didn't really have much. I know you got him in third, Ryan. We touched on him a little bit as you join us once again, but I'll let you focus on the number 4 peak performer for Shug. who I believe, if I looked it up, hasn't had a starter at Turfway over the last 5 years. So interesting prospect for him, I thought, Ryan.
Yeah, I haven't seen one. I looked at stat up as well, and I didn't see anything. But hey, it's interesting. But this horse might just kind of need a new surface. Did take a step forward in the last two when finally going long, past a mile, and this time on the grass, and showed some improvement. Obviously, Kentucky Downs is Kentucky Downs. That ended up being a pretty live race with Chapman's Peak and Blast Furnace out of that. The run at Laurel was okay, but 8-1 and ran second. So, there was a heavier favorite in there that I think was just better on the day. So I wonder what Peak Performer does in here. But Jackson mentioned the Curlin success last year over the synthetic surface, and I think that could easily continue. I mean, there's not really a category he does poorly in. So I look for Peak Performer. I think longer the better, and 10 furlongs might hit him right between the eyes.
I like it, and I agree with the points that you brought up. It's a good thing that we've got you guys to help us out with some of the sire stats and stuff, because I know, Jackson, you follow this meet a little bit, maybe more than the average horse player, at least in terms of last winter and spring. So good to bring some of that
Jackson
stuff up.
Do you remember who the leading sire was on synthetic last meet?
I thought it was Curlin, but apparently not.
Oh, no, I was asked. That was a genuine question. I had forgotten.
Then no, I don't.
Because it was Curlin, and
it seemed like he won everything.
There was another one that you and I ended up just betting blind after you said it.
Was it Omaha Beach?
No, he did really well though. Was it Medagliadoro? I don't remember. If it comes to me, I'll let you know.
Yeah, maybe one of these horses. Maybe one of these horses will be a son or daughter of that sire, and then it'll click. We'll go ahead and move on to race 6. Race 6 is a $16,000 claimer, 6.5 furlongs. Got a field of 10, and the morning line favorite is drawn all the way to the outside. And the
hard spun.
Gigi's World. Hard spun. Got it. Hard spun, not on the 10, but the 10 is Gigi's World for the Axeman, Luan Machado and Michael McCarthy at 3-1. Second choice goes to the Indiana bred, the 2 Krickenberg for Walter Rodriguez and Eric Foster at 4-1. I thought this was a pretty wide open race, and I'm going 8-9-1. Jackson's going 8-2-7, and Ryan's going 3-9-10. We'll go to Jackson. He's copying my picks once again. Going with the 8, Bella Cruella for Gutierrez and Bahina. Not super familiar with Gutierrez, the jockey, but he is getting 5 pounds, which in a race that I don't think has a ton of speed could be of her benefit. Excuse me. I should probably
Gutierrez was riding at Horseshoe Indy this summer, and he did really well. He's very aggressive. He has no issue putting horses into the race. That's a good thing for the way this race is drawn up. And I think at this distance specifically, the 6.5 furlongs at Turfway, you want to be looking for extreme pace scenarios in here. I've had a lot of success with that move, whether it's there being a lot of speed and looking for a closer, or there's not a lot of speed and looking for horses to be on the lead, which is the case for Bella Cruella in this spot. And she was able to run well here last year. She got the win she paid like $75, and then they threw it in a much tougher company, and she had no shot against those horses last year at Turfway. So this is a much more realistic spot. And I thought the last 2 races were fine. I mean, the last race at Churchill, came against way better. She was on top of the pace. The pace kind of came apart a little bit. I want to be forgiving of that effort. And then 2-back race, she ran well in that spot too. She was just never really in a great position in that race, kind of between horses, and ran well to finish 3rd at this level. Looking at this field, there's just not a lot of speed. And I'm looking at her, getting 4th place, either in 1st or 2nd on a soft pace, then we'll see what she has left in the lane. But I think 6-1 her is a pretty fair price.
I do too. And I think in theory, rule of thumb is those 16 claimers at Keeneland are probably a little bit better than the 16 claimers that you're going to find here at Turfway. And then last time, if I'm not mistaken, was that Claiming Crown Day? November 9th?
I don't know.
So typically those fields are...
No, I think it was the next week.
Was it? Okay. Well, my thinking was typically those fields are a little bit better as well, but obviously the point still stands with the race 2-back. And you look at her form overall, she's 3 for 26 lifetime, but she's 0 for 11 on the dirt. So I was keen into those races like you were talking about, Jackson, those races that she ran here at Turfway Park. I give a leg up to horses that I've had some success over the track. You go way back to a race in January on the screen where she was able to get the front end and win at a big price that day. And the 2 races after that, I think you can make excuses for. The one in March, I mean, it's just a way tougher group than she's ever going to beat. Fantastical and BG Warrior are much better horses than what she was at the time. And then the other one, she drew the outside post, and it says bore out. I mean, she completely lost any chance, tried to get more involved, and just ran kind of flat late in the end. So I thought you could make some excuses for those two races as well as the last two that she's run. She runs anything close to that race at the beginning of the year here at Turfway. I think she's got a big shot. And like you said, 6-1, I think is a good price on her. So that's why I'm going with Bella Cruella. We'll go to you, Ryan. You're going with the number 3, another speedy horse. It seems like these two could maybe control things out on the front end. Samarita, 10-1 on the line. Gonzalez, Rodriguez. What'd you like about this 6-year-old mare?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the same points for the reason you guys like the number 8 in Bella Cruella. I just have the added class drop that I like. Obviously, did very little running last time. And then the last time on a surface somewhat similar to this, some say, did no running. That was over a very soft course at Hawthorne that day, so I'm willing to excuse that. But this is another one where I expect Gonzalez to get Samarita to the front early, often, and just kind of take it to him and just see how far he can take things along on the front end. I do think that's where he does his best running. I think he's quicker than the 8, but in terms of intention, I'm not sure who's going to be, more intent on the lead. But I would anticipate the 3 of the 8 being out there. I took the 3 at a little bit of a longer price, just thinking the drop down made some sense.
Yeah, and if people see that the 3 and the 8 are going to be out there by themselves, and people kind of see some of the stuff that Jackson and I see with the 8, maybe dropping in class a little bit, maybe you get a little bit of an inflated price on the 3, and she's able to clear and beat a group that, really there's no world beaters in here. So always getting the front in a race like this, I think, is a green flag for sure. We'll keep it with you. The 9s, both yours and mine in terms of second choices. Another one that I think is dropping in class. This is the one where, if she doesn't run well here, it'd kind of be the divorce papers for me, because she's 5 at this point. She's only passed 1 horse in the last 2 starts, but obviously she's got some numbers to run back to, right?
Yeah, she's got back numbers for sure. This is kind of that money run, ran for claim 32 last time, ran for about half the race, and then just kind of threw out the anchor and gave up. That kind of screams cutback to me. I know she's only been decent sprinting at best. That's probably being a little bit generous, but I think the cutback from the mile suits her. And yeah, you mentioned it. If she's ever going to win, it's going to be tomorrow in this race, because again, I think this kind of is the race she's supposed to win in here.
Yeah, and you've got the horse to her outside in 3rd, Gigi's World, who I'd probably include on some tickets. I'd be a little reluctant to take her at a short price. She's been off for a while, drops into 16 for Meagher and Machado. I think she's probably going to take some money just off of the connections alone, and thought you can maybe get prices otherwise. But in terms of, a horizontal sequence, I think I'd probably have her in the mix. And then Jackson, we'll have you wrap things up. You've got the 2, Krickenberg, second choice, got some decent races to go back to and has some experience here at Turfway. And then you got the 7 and 3rd as well. So talk about those 2.
Yeah, I would like her a lot if there was some speed in here. I think she really likes this racetrack, and I think her recent form is a little dirtied up. She's been running on the dirt in these off the turf affairs, and she's just not that good on the dirt. She's much better on the turf. She's much better on the synthetic, and she's kind of been trying to close into not great pace scenarios. I think the race 2 back especially, she was wide, had to make an early move and kind of flattened out. So I think the cutback at 6.5 will do her a lot of good. And if they unexpectedly go crazy on the front end, the 3 and the 8 and the 9, they all get really aggressive. This is a horse I fear most late come off the pace.
You've got the 7 and the 3rd. Talk about this one a little bit. This was, I thought, an interesting horse, just making a bit of a strange change. You saw her going 1.5 miles at Turfway all the way back in March, and she's going to be running 6.5 on Wednesday.
Yeah, last time just seemed like a total prep. They protected her. She could race into her, get her some experience, and then we'll get her back to the racetrack where she's had some success. And you look what she did at this level last year in the claiming ranks. She finished 1st and 2nd and ran really well in both those races. So if she's able to take a step forward, second up a long layoff, she's dangerous too for Perry Oots in the saddle. I don't know how old he is now, but unbelievable. That guy is
78, maybe
78. That's only about 4 times older than I am.
All right.
Look at this guy.
Well,
awful math, but yeah.
I said about. I didn't say exactly. Well, Jackson said I'm 18 before we hopped on the show. So, we'll go ahead and move on.
Are you not 18?
No. We'll move on to race number 7. We go back to the maidens. We've got 2-year-old fillies going a mile. It is a 2-turn mile at Turfway Park, and the morning line favorite goes to the number 10. Together again for Machado and Cassie, sitting 3-1 on the board. Second choice is split between it's not split. I didn't scroll all the way down. Second choice is the 12 Cove Spring. That's probably Cove Spring. For Bashiza and Kelsey Danner at 4-1. And then the third choice, you got co-third choices in the number 3 Queenstown and the number 5. I'm not going to pronounce that, but a filly for McCarthy. We'll go to our picks. I'm going 7-3-5. Jackson's going 7-3-10. Little bro's copied me again. And Ryan's doing what he's not supposed to, picking an A. He's going 3-14-9. Ryan, you're the odd man out, so we'll go back to you. Horse that I had quite a bit of interest in, the number 3 Queenstown for Shemina and Hardy. Probably going to get anywhere close to that 5-1, I would think.
Yeah, I would imagine you get pretty close to that. Paige Turner, who won the debut race, came back, very respectable effort, finishing second to On Time Girl in late November, just a few days ago at Churchill Downs. So I like how the form of that race is held up. And Owen Hardy, he's sneaky good with these horses. Godolphin still sends him horses, and they're not going to send they're not going to send good horses to a bad trainer. He's proven time and again he can get these horses ready. If not first up, then second off. They typically show some improvement. I do like the switch over to the synthetic, and I do think 2 turns is going to be ultimately what this horse wants to do best. Showed a little bit of speed early on and looked comfortable, just kind of ran out of gas, and that's typical sometimes of these first-time starters. So I look for a big step up second time, and I'm mainly just kind of trying to beat the favorite in here.
Yeah, I like the fact that she was working pretty quickly going into the debut, faced an okay field. Paige Turner came back and ran second, like you said, and then has come out working well. You see that bullet at Turfway Park, 47-2 for furlongs, best of 9. And then it just kind of seems like they've been waiting to get her on the track and run in the evenings here at Turfway. So I agree with everything. Jackson, you got anything different?
Nope, we're good.
Well, we will keep it with you to a first-time starter that I'm actually pretty interested in. And obviously you are too. Of course, we don't talk about our picks before the show, but somehow we always end up copying each other. I don't know how that's the case, but this is a daughter of Gift Box out of a Nyquist Dam. John Service, a first-time starter who's not super good with first-time starters. But what did you like about this horse and hoping that we get the 10-1?
To be honest, I didn't have a great feel for this race. And I just felt like she's going to be a decent enough price. And from what I've seen of her in the mornings, I think she's got some ability. So I picked her on top at 10-1. I like that they paid $70,000 for this filly, a $5,000 stud fee. And yeah, I don't know. I just like what I saw from her in the mornings. That was kind of it. Nothing else really leaped off the page for me from what I watched, the replays, the workouts, or anything else. So just going based on what I've seen in the mornings, and hope to get that kind of price on her. I know there's hurdles for her to overcome, specifically that these connections don't do great first time out going 2 turns, but I did look them up, and I think like 8 of those 9 were like 15-1 or higher. So I don't know how much stock you want to put in those horses because they weren't really live. So yeah, that's all I have.
Well, it's also embedded with the price, right? I mean, you're going to get a first-time starter from a barn like, Brad Cox and Irad Ortiz. Obviously, they're going to take a little bit more money, but obviously a barn that doesn't fire as well as maybe some of the top guys first out, you'll get a bit of a price, and maybe that is indicative of the stat that you found. Maybe some of those runners weren't as live as this one, but on the other hand, check the double probables because don't check the double probables because you will learn absolutely nothing about this race. But check the board if you're playing the late pick 3 or anything that involves race 7, because if she's taking money, I have a feeling that she's going to be live. And I saw the same thing you did. I watched, I think it was a work on the 17th out of the gate.
The bullet where really good.
She worked okay out of the gate, but she really caught up to her work bait, stuck her head in front, and I thought worked pretty well that day. So keen in on her. I think she is going to be a good price. I'd like to see her taking a little money. I think that would be pretty encouraging, but in all agreement with you, Jackson. So we can go ahead and move elsewhere in this field. We talk about the 3, we talk about the 7. I think this is probably a good horse to talk about, Ryan. This is maybe the exception that I will give you, because if she draws into the race, I think she's probably the most accomplished. She's got good numbers. McCarthy's probably going to take money, and I could see a scenario where people aren't actually aware that she's in the race, and you actually get an okay price on her.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's easily the most qualified horse that's coming into the race. She didn't, embarrass herself last time out facing the boys in a stake race when still a maiden. Drops back into the maiden ranks now. We've talked about how Omaha Beach did here. Michael Meagher obviously always has a pretty strong meet. Fernando de la Cruz, one of his top guys out here during this kind of winter circuit. Feels like a very logical horse. Yeah, I know you don't typically like me to like anybody to pick AEs, but you have broken that rule, so I feel no shame breaking the rule. If Beach Ballad draws in, prohibitive favorite.
Just wait till the last race.
Oh, I bet.
The one thing I'll add about not just this horse, but outside post in general, going the mile at Turfway, unless they've changed the run up, it is a really, really short run that first turn, and those horses can get hung out wide very easily. So I'd be, double checking that you really like your horse, because they have to overcome some adversity to win from those outside posts. Go in the 1 mile.
Well, it'd be at least 12, right? Maybe 11, maybe 10, just depending on scratches. But I think the point is still there, right? Yeah. We'll talk about some others to maybe fill out some exactas and tries. The number 5, I think, is another one. If she's probably taking some money, that's a little bit encouraging. 11-1 on debut, coming out of an okay race, I thought, at Churchill. Blinkers go on for Michael McCarthy, daughter of Twirling Candy, homebred for Juddmonte. It just seems like if there's some ability here, she's probably going to take some money. I've got her third. A little surprised that you guys don't have her in the mix, but maybe that's just the thought that she'll be a little bit overbet just based off the connections in here. You've got the 10 in third, Jackson. Ryan, you've got the 9 who ran respectable first out, I thought, at Presque Isle Downs. I'll leave it to you guys. You want to talk about anybody else in this race?
I'm good.
Jackson, anything on the hit? Okay.
We're good?
Yeah.
Right.
Good with me.
We can go ahead and move on to the I did it again. Penultimate leg of the late pick 5. Penultimate leg is race 8, and it is an allowance optional claimant for $25,000, 6.5 furlongs, $102,000 purse. Morning line favorite is the number 3. Cut to the chase off an impressive maiden win at Keeneland, I thought, for Irad Ortiz. God, I can't speak. It's really catching up to me right now. And Wesley Ward at 5-2. Second choice, the number 9. What did we say that this horse's name? Sinane? I don't know.
Kinane.
Yeah,
that's right.
Thank you.
Kinane is the 9. Machado Cox at 3-1. I thought those two were going to be pretty tough. The third choice is the 10 for Rodriguez and Ward. I thought this was a pretty good race, to be honest with you. I'm going 9-5-3. Jackson's going 9-11-3, and Ryan's going 3-5-9. Jackson, you're going with a 9. I'll start with you because I know you like her quite a bit. Cox Philly. It seems like there's a comment in the chat that I need to see and figure out what's going on in there, but I'll let you talk while I do that.
Did we really pick the same horse in the first 4 races of the sequence?
Yeah, it's not the same.
Crazy.
Unbelievable.
Crazy
All
work.
those crazy wide open races, and this guy copies me 4 straight races. I mean, come on.
Word for word, bar for bar. Word for word, bar for
come
bar.
on, man. No, I like this Philly quite a bit. I think if she takes to the synthetic, I think she's gonna win. I think that's the big question for her in this spot. There's the Wesley horse is the horse to beat. She's quick, but the horse drawn to her outside is also very fast. Going to put some pressure on her. And then you also have a lot of horses coming out of 5 furlong races that I would expect before they place as well. And I think this pace could get really hot again, going to 6.5 and set it up for a horse like the 9, who's going to be coming from probably mid-pack, I would have to imagine. I just think she's been facing better. She's been running against better competition. That was the claiming crown day at Aqueduct last time, and she ran well in that spot. I know she was beating the favorite, but she lost to Blossoming Erudite, who I believe is 3 for 3 going 6 furlongs at Aqueduct. That's a filly that just loves that trip and distance. So no shame in finishing second to that horse. That was a good field that day. And I love the versatility of this horse out. She can be very close and run well, or she can come from way up the pace if necessary. So strong connections. Machado was leading rider last year. For me, the only question mark is the surface. That's all there is to it.
100% agree. I think the thing that I was more keen in on is I feel like there's just tons of the class in here. I just think the horses that she's faced up in New York are are much better now. The 3 could take a big step forward, and obviously she's got some speed, which with the conditions, I should mention, James was asking about the conditions, and it looks like the dog that Ryan's watching is also curious about the conditions. I don't want to know what he just said. Yeah, so we did get snow here last night. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to cancel classes today, so I had classes and extracurriculars and stuff like that. I know I almost shed a tear. But I think the general rule is when it's cold, the speed will hold pretty good. You guys sent me a picture of the snow on the ground, which was kind of cool. Obviously, they'll clear that for tomorrow night, but I think that's kind of the general rule. Jackson, actually, you would probably know better than me. Is that typically the case?
I think it's less the cold and more the moisture in the ground. Like when it starts raining a lot, then yeah. But if it's long as it stays dry, it should be. I'm gonna assume it's fair until I see otherwise.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to go. Speaking of good ways to go, I think she's going to be pretty tough on the front end. Ryan, I've got her third. Jackson's got her third. You've got her on top, obviously. I always give leg ups to horses that I don't like, and they beat me. And boy, did she beat me last time. I thought she was pretty good and pretty impressive at Keeneland.
Yeah, she beat me too. And look, she did that against a decent maiden special weight field that you saw out there. Comes back in this spot. This isn't an overly ambitious race for sure. You can see there was a next out winner, American Parle. But I mean, look, I've tried to beat these Wesley horses thinking that, at the sprint distance off a maiden win, there's other speed in the race. He just trains them to have so much quickness. And I know with Irad aboard, he's not going to, it's going to be no holds barred when they break from the gate. He's going to be intent on getting to the lead. He'll have that length. He'll have that lead clear. That much I'm sure about. He might go too fast. And that's, a possibility. But that was a really nice win last time. And it looked very professional. Looked like there's more in the tank. And I think a step forward is very logical. So I'm probably going to single this horse in all horizontals.
By the way, I think it's pronounced Pearl, not Parle.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking of another horse. There is a Parle out there. So
I think there's a Parle on the West Coast, isn't there?
Parle. Yeah.
Now we're hitting parlays.
All right, American Pearl. Sorry, I didn't know I was in English class today. Thought I was just out here talking horses.
No.
You never know, though.
I've got the 5 in second, and now that I look, Ryan, you've actually got the 5 in second too. I can kind of make excuses for her last 2 trips at Keeneland. I thought she was kind of in between and made a little run late. It was a little discouraging that Tales of the Heart came back at Churchill and was absolutely awful. I know Jackson knows that horse very, very well. And then last time had some trouble, was bet in that race. I think the added distance is probably going to benefit her a little bit because I think she's just kind of been in some tight spots as of recent. So gets her a little bit more out in the clear if there's some speed that gets involved, spread things out a little bit. I think she can kind of get comfortable on the backside, make her move around the far turn, maybe go on with it under Chemino. And that you'll get a little bit of a better price just with Irad going to the 3 for Ward. Obviously, there's that's obviously expected that's going to happen. So no shame in losing Irad, and Chemino, obviously, he's got some talent himself. So I do like the 5, Lorice, I think is how you say it. You got her in second, obviously. And then Jackson, you will finish us off with the number 11, Miss Susan B. And another one that's got some dirtied up form, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I do think she does. And I think the 1 for 21 is going to scare off a lot of people, and probably for good reason. But I love the 9 in the spot. If the 9 loses, I think it's because it's just a complete meltdown, and it's going to be a chaos race. And I think she's the one that might benefit the most from that, because I got to imagine they're going to drop out the back, make one run with her. And we talked about the 3 is very quick. The 4 is quick. I think there's other 5 furlong sprinters that could make this pace really hot. So look, she ran well here last year. It wasn't like she got crazy setups in those races here at Turfway. And she, especially when she won pretty emphatically. So give me her underneath bomb, or maybe a deep backup on a horizontal.
Yeah, and you go all the way back. That was her only win, so she could pull it off and be 2 for 2 in her last 2 at Turfway if all things go well on Wednesday. We'll go ahead and move on to the last race of the late pick 5 on Wednesday night, opening night, and it is race 9 It is 5 furlongs, $15,000 claimers. This was a bit of a crapshoot, I thought. This was a very tough race to end the day tomorrow night. Morning line favorite is the number 9, Royale with Cheese for Machado and Hiles at 7-2.
What a name.
The choice is the 11, Payrula for Danny Sheehy and Michael Stidham at 4-1. And then the third choice, Goth, the number 10 for De La Cruz and Meagher. And the fourth choice all the way to the outside, Worthier for Irad and Ward. So it seems like based off the morning line, most of the contenders are towards the outside. Let's see what we're going with to wrap up the day tomorrow night. I'm going 13-5-9, and I mentioned that about the AEs because I just picked an AE in this race. 13-5-9. Jackson's going 4-5-2, and Ryan's going 5-2-9. Brian, we'll go back to you. Brooklyn can dance. The question I have for you is, can you dance?
When the situation calls for it, I'll get down. But how all of us picked the number 5 at 15-1, either first or second in here. Man, I hope we're all right tomorrow. I'll just say that, because if not, you two are going to have horrific days. And in this last race, I really like Brooklyn can dance. If there's one thing I trust Walter Rodriguez to do, it is to get the lead at all costs. And I think that's exactly what he needs to do here. I think the drop down is warranted. He ran a lot better on synthetic earlier in the year, and that was against levels much, much better than this. I think the drop down makes all the sense in the world. I think he gets to the lead, and just going 5 furlongs, I think that's going to be enough for this horse to hang on the front end. I don't see a whole lot of other early gas to the level that Brooklyn Dance showed early on in his career. So I hope he can get back to that on the synthetic. So Brooklyn can dance. I can too when I need to.
A little bit of liquid courage. I like that.
That doesn't hurt.
Jackson, I really don't have anything else to add other than the fact that I don't think she's going to be anywhere close to 15-1. Do you?
I have no idea. This race feels like her play at its peak, where you got this 12-horse field and it's just absolutely impossible. So someone's got to be 15-1. Maybe it's her. I really don't know. I agree with everything Ryan said. She's interesting at a price.
Hey, who was the horse that she lost to in her second career start?
Oh, Bourbon
Memory.
You guys got to do a show with Tony and just get to say that. And then
he will be on our show next week for synthetic championships. Yep.
Oh, hell yeah. I would love to
hopefully Bourbon Memory runs back.
I'm going to just – what?
Oh, on the Gallop Out. Sorry. It'll be on the Gallop Out next week.
Little cause for
what happened to Bourbon Memory?
I don't know. You should look it up while I talk about
Went off the sauce.
Quirky ride. This is a bit of a quirky pick for me because obviously the rule of thumb on the show is not to talk about AEs, and this is the second one that we're talking about of the show so far. Bashiza, Kelsey Danner, she's been betting all 3 of her starts. Daughter of Twirling Candy, Bernardini on the dam side, which obviously is not super significant when you get down to these low-level claimers like this. But I thought the win at Belterra was okay, part of the pace that day. And then I thought that the trip at Colonial was just a complete disaster. Got stopped several times. Just was not an ideal trip at all. Give her some time. She's been working at Turfway for a little while. And before you guys say that the works are a little spotty, I don't take as much stock into that when you've got low-level claimers like this. I just like the fact that she's been there for a while. Obviously, Kelsey Danner is very capable firing anywhere, but she's had some very, very good fillies at Turfway Park. Not to say that she's very good, because obviously this is a 15 claimer, but I thought it was enough to give her a shot at 10-1 on the line. So I'm going to go that direction, hoping that she draws in the last race, which I think it could go a number of directions. If I'm playing a pick 5, I'm going to use quite a few. I don't think the all button is a horrible shout. I know you got to go 12 times your ticket. But maybe it's worthy in a race like this. Jackson, you got 4 on top.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Just real quick, because Turfway has the pick 5 at Turfway pays 4 out of 5. Do you guys like that, or you not like that?
That depends if I go 4 out of 5 or if I hit the pick 5. So my opinion will change based on that.
I am like 60-40. I don't like it, but I'm I'm not like going to the windows to people that I hate it.
Yeah, I just think at TURFWAY, like specifically, it's so hard to hit one race. And the pick 4 takeout is like the lowest in the country. I think it's only 13 or 14%. So like, why would I play a much more difficult bet when I can play one that's more favorable and also easier to hit? That's at least my take on it.
I like it. I like the plug.
I will say the 4 to 5 I'm not typically a fan of. I like it at TURFWAY because TURFWAY's hard.
No.
So if I can just get little wins out of that, I feel good.
Fancy Fascinator Jackson, you've got a 10-1 on top as well. Got to look out for horses with the 0 buyer angle. I'll tell you that.
Negative buyer, actually. Yeah, the other thing about this race is it's only 5 furlongs, and they really don't run this distance hardly ever there. So the horses that are drawn out wide are going to have to contend with that, wide trips in a short race. So I was looking more towards inside, especially at prices. I have no idea what happened last time. She was terrible. No ways around it. She was really, really bad. But the Keeneland race I thought was really good. It was a fast pace. She sat right off of it. She jumped in front at the top of the stretch, kicked away, and hit a wall the final furlong. But that was the field that probably compares pretty favorably to this one. The cutback to 5 furlongs based on that effort is going to be perfect for her. And she's going to get save some ground. She'll be forwardly placed. Tapeta's a question mark, but I think if she runs back to that race 2 back, she's arguably the horse to beat. But there's that negative buyer is obviously a concerning for sure.
Yeah, I like it. You guys both have the 2 in the mix, Jackson. You've got her in 3rd. Ryan, you've got her in 2nd. And since you've got priority, I'll let you talk about her, and then I'll talk about the 9, and then we can go ahead and get into best bets.
Yeah, I don't know. It gives me priority, but I'll take it. Yeah. So last time out, I'm willing to excuse that.
As you're a pilot.
Yeah, pilot. Yeah, that was the exact
priority boarding
into my head. Certainly nothing else. Anyway, the last time out at Churchill over the dirt, that was a less than enthusiastic effort, but all of her dirt efforts have sucked. She's much better on turf. She's done okay at the 5 furlongs on the grass. She broke her maiden going at the maiden special weight distance. That was at Tampa a couple years ago. Has yet to find the winner's circle since then, but this is a reasonable spot. 2nd off the bench, drops into restricted claiming competition, which she had only ever faced previously on the dirt, which again, I don't think is her surface. We've seen City of Lights do pretty good. 5 furlongs might be a little sharp, but I think the price drifts up. You get at least 8 to 1 on her.
I like it. And if you're going to bet any names, I think within the sequence on Friday, you got to bet this one. Royale with cheese, 7 to 2.
Not if you're lactose intolerant.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I think if there's every reason to include her on some tickets after her last race, was part of a hot pace. The winter showers came back and beat me at Churchill. I believe that was about a week and a half ago. Got claimed by Amos.
About a week ago.
And
he's too young for that.
Yeah, he doesn't get it. He's
he might have been 4 during that.
I know the reference.
For real.
Dude, but I just think the last race gives you every reason to maybe lean on her if you're looking for a logical, and if you're playing a cash tourney or trying to get into the synthetic championships tourney on Twin Spires, you got to bet the last race. I think if you're going to go her direction, I'm not going to talk you off of going that way. So I think we can go ahead and move into best bets. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Who wants to go first?
You. since you copied me on every pick, let's see who your best opinion of those are.
My best opinion is race 8, a win on the number 7 Cartier Gold. If you guys don't remember, that is the first-time starter for Service and Walter Rodriguez. I think it's a wide-open race. I think you're going to get a fair price on her. I like what she's shown in the mornings. I think she's got some ability. Hopefully she's taking a little money on the board. I think if she is, that's probably a good sign. So I'm going to go in the direction of the number 7 Cartier Gold in race 8.
That horse has absolutely 0 chance of winning race 8. 0.
Is that not race 8? Is that race 7?
It's race 7.
Oh, crap. Okay, folks. That is race 7, folks. I'll throw it on.
Other boss man has put the correct pronunciation of Cartier in there.
You tell me it's not Cartier?
It is not Cartier. Nope.
Jackson, we're going to go to you because you're not being very nice. Race 8. I probably should have noticed this because these two fillies would not be able to face each other. Maybe next time out when the 7 wins. But race 8, you're going with a win bet on the number 9. Fuck, I forgot it again. Inane.
Yeah. I thought this was a really difficult sequence. This is by far my best opinion. It's not even like a super strong one. I just think if she handles the track, she's going to be very, very difficult. I think she gets a setup in here. I think she's a class of the field. I like the post she has. I think there's a lot of things I like. I hope we get around 3-1. I think that seems pretty fair in that kind of spot. So if she takes to the track, she's gonna win.
I like it. What kind of price do you think you get on her?
I hope 3-1. I think there's a chance with the 3-horse, coming out of live race, being Wesley, being Irad, that horse could take a lot of money. So maybe even drift up a little bit off the 3-1.
Hope so. But this guy doesn't hope so because he's got the 3 to start the double. Race 8, double, going with the 3, cut to the chase, I believe, and then going into the 2 and the 5 to wrap up the day. That is Serious Light and Brooklyn Can Dance. Boy, if that horse wins, that you're going to be dancing, all right, I'll tell you that.
I sure will. I will crank that Soldier Boy. But anyway, yeah, no, cut to the chase. I don't think cut to the chase is going to lose tomorrow. I think you do get 3-1 on Kanane, but cut to the chase. That last one was impressive. I think he can clearly take a step forward. And Irad, who's going to be spending most of the winter down in Florida, he's not going to take mounts that aren't live. So I know he rides for Wesley when he's typically got a talented horse, and this seems to be one of those. So I'll take the 3. I'll go into those 2 prices you described in the last, and yeah, if Walter Rodriguez can get me the second half of that double, I'll be a happy boy, and I will not touch Turfway until Jeff Ruby Day.
Till Thursday?
That's not true.
Got you.
Yeah, until Thursday. Yeah,
100%. This guy's got an Inspires account I saw. This guy's going to be fire.
Hey, yeah, dude.
Did you win your first tournament yet?
I did not. No, I didn't play anything today. Well, Parks canceled, Mountaineer canceled. There was nothing to go today. So, there's always tomorrow.
It's always tomorrow. It's going to be a great card. I don't know what the early part of the card looks like, but late pick 5 sequence is great. Obviously, we just talked about that, but I think that's everything that we've got to take care of. Anything from you guys? Anything on your end? I know you guys just did a show with Andy or Nick. Did Nick end up joining you guys?
No, Nick got caught up in a meeting, so he left Austin a little bit late. So he will join us next time. I think we're going to plan loosely on opening day for Santa Anita. And speaking of which, I already missed Del Mar. So, there's that. But the show today went great with Andy. We went over Cigar Mile, Remsen Stakes, and the New York Stallion Series race to end the day. So that was good, but I'm ready for Del Mar to be back. Is it July?
No, it's not, unfortunately. I got snow about 5 feet, across the wall. So unfortunately, it's not July.
So
Jackson, no. God, that'd be fun. That would be too cold. Couldn't handle it. Can't bring you out there because you almost took out my electrical box. So, any parting words for you, Jackson?
Tiger, wish he could.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Tiger, wish he could.
Yeah.
All right, check out these 2 guys' shows that they just did over on the Gallop Out, as well as Bet Nabuza tomorrow night. They'll be covering the Gulfstream Late Pick 5 as they wrap up their championship meet, as well as Thursday night Picks and Ponies will be covering the same card that these two boys just covered with the Remsen, what's the other big race? The Cigar Mile and some New York Stallion Series races over there. But until next time, everybody, PHP out. See you, Pilot.